Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. EHG has now put out 7 hotfixes since launching 1.3 Beneath Ancient Skies, and the hotfix they put out less than 24 hours ago, 131, is massive. This is a huge hotfix with tons of changes and fixes to the game. Now I know what you're probably thinking, Aaron, what? Okay, you're really going to put out a Last Epoch video 5 or 6 hours before PoE 2? And the answer is yes. I gotta go over this information. Yes, today we'll be checking out PoE 2 and playing Last Epoch. The subathon is on day 9. My voice is thrashed. We're just going to be doing it all, okay? And look at this. I'm still scrolling. This is the hot fix. Look, tons and tons and tons of information. By the way, I do not plan on reading all this to you. We'll go through each section and I'll pull out the big points.
I'm learning.
Starting off with passives and skills. Now in this section, a lot of it is icon changes, positioning changes, clipping changes. You know, important, obviously you want it fixed, but not like, oh, my skill is now going to be 100 times stronger. That being said, if anybody was playing Lightning Retaliation Wolves inside of Tempest Maw, fix an issue preventing summon storm sprites from exploding on death. Fury Leap, Dark Quiver, Elemental Nova, Skeleton Mage, Rune Bolt, Entangling Roots, Serpent Strike, Summon Spriggan, Summon Raptor, Rune Master Passive Tree, Dual Wielding on Spellblade, Bone Curse, Assemble the Abomination, Devouring Orb, Volatile Reversal, Summon Skeleton, Dive Bomb, Frenzy Totem, Dreadshade, Forge Master, Forge Master's Passive Tree, Summon Death Knights, Avalanche, Flay, Lightning Blast, and Lightning Blast again have all had minor changes. But some of these, again, are more important than others. Like yesterday, we were testing Sabertooth, fixed an issue where Maim would not cause your Sabertooth to double cast Fury Swipes while Frenzy Totem is active. That is a huge bug and huge nerf. It's literally what makes Frenzy Totem so strong with Sabertooth. That has been taken care of. There were some problems with Lightning Blast when it came to applying Spark Charge and using Spark Nova. That has been taken care of. Also, I will link this in the description if you want to read through all of them. But also, you know, example here, Summon Death Knights fixed a visual issue where the capes would clip into their bodies, which, by the way, the visual is very annoying. But, you know, Death Knights still function the same. Moving on to items. Carry On of Creation was bugged. It is now fixed. Tyrant's Skull. Fixed an issue where the Tyrant's minions icon did not display on the HP bar. Hydra Arc fixed some visual issues that would lead to clipping and being positioned incorrectly in the rogue's hand. And the Crab Ring fixed an issue where the Summon Crabbed icon was displaying as an evade icon. Now, campaign. I'm not going to cover any of these, okay? All the campaign nightmares of like getting to chapter 10, not being able to actually cross, you know, the turtle's back and all that kind of stuff where you get trapped, all of that has been fixed. A lot of this is visuals and problems with like walls you can walk through and just lots of just campaign problems. We're not going to cover any of this. Monolith. Fixed issues were invisible walls in the following Monolith areas. We were walking through some invisible walls. Fixed an issue where you would accidentally drop woven echoes from your inventory when placing them into the echo web. Fixed an issue where the open portal button would not appear on the echo complete. On the map was full screen mode. The traveler is now less inclined to be distracted by the odd pile of rope when they should be inspecting sacked altar in the alternate version of the stronghold. I don't know what the hell that means. Dungeons fixed an issue where Temporal Sanctum, where it was difficult to walk around certain props. Dungeons fixed an issue where the soul ember amounts would not reset correctly, sometimes resulting in a display value different from the actual value. All right, that is Dungeons, Monolith, Campaign, Items, Passives, and Skills. I don't even know if we're halfway through this. There's so much. Random encounters. Fixed the source of some rooms in the cemeteries being difficult to travel through. Fix an issue with movement ability. Fix an issue causing Primal Hunt Rift visuals to not be removed. Fix player navigation. Fix an issue with Ancient Bones dropping in party play. Factions. Fix the bazaar showing the wrong affixes. So in the bazaar, you would like click an affix and it would like pop you up to the top. It's like so annoying. Or if you're like, why can't I find minion area? Well, that's because it's under attributes for some reason. So they fixed that as well. Don't, Aaron, I don't see any juicy stuff. Don't worry, there's juicy stuff.
You read this. There's no pictures.
Well, some people use their imagination.
Now, EHG also made a lot of changes to enemies. In this section right here, we will come back to enemies, but it's about hit flashes and if they're jittery and smooth and running into walls and going through stuff. So we're not going to read through this, but there's a bunch of changes to enemies and how their AI is actually performing inside of the game. Okay, but don't worry, we'll come back to enemies. UI. So on here, this is the loot filter. This is controller. This is bazaar. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't look right on the screen with all the changes to the game. The bazaar UI. So in here, again, tons and tons of fixes. But, you know, character stats panel, the way Scarven Bloodhorn shop and Eternity Cache work with the tooltips. Nothing huge, just tons of little fixes. All right. Text, fixed a typo. Okay, good. Other. Here we go. Fixed a bug where having the chorus of the frog's helmet equipped could sometimes result in being unable to load the character in offline mode. You weren't able to play frogs in offline mode. That has been taken care of. So that is fixed. Supporter packs in the shop have been fixed. Cosmetics in offline, there was some problems. That has been taken care of. Fixed an issue where evade cosmetics would not sync with changing gear, causing the character to appear at a different location than they actually were. All right. Other texts and UI and enemies. This is a hot fix. This is a hot fix. All right. Other content. Other content. Updated chapter 10 waypoint. Made adjustments to WASD movement. Right click timeline boss. Always spawns the harbinger if able. Left clicking can still be used to opt out of spawning a harbinger. Scarven Bloodhorn shop has been renamed after him. That is very nice. All right. This is where people started to get mad. Class and skill changes. Marrow Shards and Transplant have had their descriptions updated to clarify the cost of percentage of health. Assemble the Abomination. Assemble Abomination will now only absorb minions it specifies in its tree. Now I was like, oh, that's good. You know, you can have more minions out. You can have a bigger army. There are people so upset about this change because I guess there was this workaround where you'd have the Abomination eat the Vanguards and the T-Rex, and the T-Rex and the Vanguards auto summon, so it would auto heal him, but the T-Rex would still roar, so the Abomination would get all of its benefits without actually having the T-Rex, and then you'd stack endurance. I don't know, some crazy, like, you know, they fixed that. So your Abomination can no longer infinitely eat your T-Rex. I'm sorry.
Well, bye.
They also reworked Summon Wolf a little bit. Permanent Bond has been slightly reworked. While Permanent Bond is allocated, the Summon Wolf ability will now always be replaced with Howl, while at least one wolf and other non-wolf minion is summoned. There is some bug with this change. It's already been reported to EHG, but ultimately you're trying to make your squirrels or wolf pack or whatever it is, but instead of you summoning your maximum amount, they just howl. So there's some weird bug. We had 7 squirrels, then we had 12 squirrels, then we were back down to 2 squirrels, then we were at 10 squirrels. There is something definitely wrong with Permanent Bond. Just FYI. Affix, item affix, and enemy changes. All right, so on here, there are a lot of enemies that got more damage and more damage buffs, but there's also a lot of enemies that now deal less damage. So it's kind of back and forth. The one that a lot of people are very happy about, they are cheering, is Ghost has finally been nerfed. Ghost, the frozen wolf champion, now does considerably less damage with all of its abilities. He will also close into melee more consistently. So Ghost was like number 2 or 3 on all enemy deaths last season, and he has been reeled in. And there's a ton of stuff in here. So some of them are tougher, some of them are more durable, like the siege golems. They did a full balance path of enemies after playing yesterday and talking to the community. People were seeing the game feels so much better. No, not as much one shots. And when you do die, you kind of know because you took a few hits instead of just getting deleted out of the world. So this feels really, really good. This feels really, really good. Unique item changes. Evolution's End. Minion hits can now also trigger the Rift Beast. Win. Chorus of the Frogs. Guys, they buffed frogs. They buffed it. I mean, I guess they really just removed a bug, which indirectly buffed it. Still counts. When determining the number of frogs that can be summoned, companions that are now capable of exceeding the maximum companion limit, such as the additional wolf summoned by permanent bond node, will no longer be considered. Now, when you read this, will no longer be considered, I was like, oh, they nerfed frogs. We're losing a frog. The wording on this is not correct. You gain a frog. Permanent bond now works, which means since you get an extra wolf, you get an extra frog. So the build now, frogs can be played fully in offline mode with no bugs, and you move from a wolf and 11 frogs. You got an extra companion. Very, very cool. And honestly, that kind of opens it up to people like if you wanted to add another companion into the build for whatever reason, technically you don't lose any frogs. So more options. Item faction updates. Added a unique icon for prophecy reward groups. Renamed the Lagan small lens to minor. Uniques are now alphabetical order, picking them from the bizarre filtering. This one threw me off, but huge for the people out there playing Merchant's Guild. Bizarre sort is now defaults to gold, low to high. There was many people in my chat when we were reading this said, that is the best update that in this entire thing. Now sorts by default, low to high. Endgame factions and UI changes. Updated Woven Enchanter UI is not mentioned. Weaver idols until reforging them unlocks at 5. Quality of life changes. It'll now show your ailment stacks over 1,000. So it used to say 999 plus. Now it'll just, we got to test this. What if I got 7,000, 10,000 stacks? Will it actually show it all? We're going to have to wait and see. Inventory panel now opens without automatically closing the crafting panel. Minor polishes to the Rift Beast evolution. Chat. Typing. Runes and Glyphs guide. Unique filtering updated. Reroll prophecies on controllers better. Added a warning that the glyph entity can result in higher level requirements for the tooltip. Visual and sound updates. All right. The one on here. You guys could, I'm not going to read through all this, but the one that was driving us absolutely batshit crazy was the T-Rex. The T-Rex. T-Rex minion audio is now quieter and different from enemy variants. Reduce the volume of T-Rex enemies' roar. Reduce frequency of the volume and T-Rex's bite. We were playing yesterday with T-Rex. I didn't even notice it. I mean, you know, when we focus on it and look at it and watch it, yes, but during combat, those crazy annoying sounds, taken care of. They also lowered the frog sounds as well. So the stuff that people were complaining about, they have taken care of it. Now, known issues, things that they're going to continue to fix. Totems targeting spires, loot labels, issues with bones, issue where a bone in the cave's lobby would block the player's view. Oh yeah, that's really annoying. Issues with T-Rex enemies doing the T-pose. Yep. Fixing an issue with the minimap would not be visible for the cave scenes. fixing issues with basic area mono champions. Online mode, enemies not spawn directly at the correct position. Lagon spawning on top of the player. I haven't seen that. Increase the spawn rates of Primal Hunt Rifts. By the way, they did increase Primal Hunt Rifts, so you're going to see them more often. Make it more obvious when materials are on the ground. I'm like, have I seen any black market tokens? They're like, yes, you just haven't noticed them. You're not picking them up. Fix an issue. We're entering a wild scene via teleport portal. Instances of invisible enemies. We've had invisible T4 Julras quite often. Fix an issue or Monolith sometimes. Starting an echo, you don't get teleported to it. We've had that issue as well. You get Air 77, I think. Fix an issue with offline dungeons. Fix Flay, getting players stuck. Fixing impossible areas and caves. And improving client performance. Now, the one thing on here is the new Embers. Was it Wildfire Embers amulet supposedly is bugged. And a lot of people are really screaming at the top of their lungs, please take care of that. I want to play with that item. So they know about it now. That's the update. I know it's crazy long. This video is, I can't believe how long this video was, but 7 hot fixes has now been dropped. As soon as this dropped, they also put out 1311 because there was a problem with Summon Bear where there was people abusing and repeatedly allocating Barb Thorns or Toxic Growths node, and it would ply multiple times. So they're like, yeah, nice try. They took care of that. And here it is. The Beast. Well, now you'll encounter 21% more. So you're going to see more Rift Beasts. So that is the main update. Subathon moves on to day 9, 7 hours on the clock. Today we're going to be playing Path of Exile 2 later when it actually drops, and we're going to start the stream with Last Epoch. I'm working on a new crit, lich, flay, auto, trigger, hard. I don't know. It'll end up. So far, it's been pretty fun. Don't forget to check out actionrpg.com. Don't forget to join the Discord. Last night we had movie night. We've already had game night. It is always so much fun. Over 5,500 members now in my Discord. And we do hoodie giveaways, game giveaways, merch giveaways. It's a really cool place to hang out. I'm done. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.